Hi folks, in this video I'm going to give an overview of our application. If you remember from our previous discussion, um, we mentioned that the front end and the back end topics are the topics that are actually related to application. And we used a home building analogy where we said the front end consists of everything that the users of the home can see and touch, such as doors, sinks, and electrical switches. And then the back end is everything that the home users cannot see or touch, such as structural beams, plumbing, and electrical wiring. So stating that a different way was that the back end and the front end are the components of our application. So in this video, we're going to go over um, what that is for our actual application instead of just using the analogy. So our application is a web application. So our user, whether he or she is on a desktop or a mobile device, um, he or she is going to open up a web browser and then interact with our application. So our web browser is our front end, and that could be Chrome, Firefox, Edge, Safari, or any number of browsers out there that's available for anyone to use. Okay, so all the web browsers should allow our application to be presented very similarly to our user. Of course, there are nuances to each web browser, but for our intents and purposes, they should be the same for now. Again, so these web browsers are on the desktop or mobile device, and these are not the applications that you download from an app store or download from a website and install. Anything that you need to download and install is not what we consider to be the front end for our application. Um, Unless we develop a desktop app um, or a mobile app, right? But for now, we're just strictly a web app. Okay, so that's the front end. And then the back end is what the user um, is our servers. So whenever the user types in a URL into the browser, the browser is going to then go through the internet and hit our server, and then the server is going to respond back with a web page to load onto the user's browser. So whether it's mobile or desktop, the browser will need a URL so it knows how to traverse the internet and get to our server. So, okay, so here's our server. And then our server can be just really any machine that serves up a web page. It could be your own desktop in your home network. It could be Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, or Google Cloud. At the end of the day, even if you use these cloud services, it's still probably a physical machine that Amazon, Microsoft, or Google is operating. So at the end of the day, it's a machine returning, it's anything that returns a web page. And then we refer to that as a server. Okay, so the last point I want to make is that um, if we had an app that's able to be downloaded and installed, the app could, go through the internet and hit the same server. So our user could use a web browser and utilize the same server that if we had another client application that is downloaded and installed, then they all can use the same server. Okay, so doesn't always have to be a web browser. Servers don't always have to serve web browsers. They can serve even apps that is downloaded and installed. Okay, so they're usually referred to as native clients, and then the web browser is often referred to as the client. So we have like kind of a client server architecture. Okay, I hope that gives an overview understanding of the front end and the back end components of our web application. And yep, that's all. Thanks for watching.